Kagurabachi chapter 115 is a fun chapter and an interesting one at that. Also, it's got a lot of yap, so if you're not really used to that, get used to it because there's a lot of this. And also get cool Shiba moments. Just a chill chapter. We got a lot of info on like the enchanted blades on Subaru, which is like a new enchanted blade bearer being introduced into the story. Right, we're gonna see more of them, so it's fun time, right? Also, yeah, Kunishige and Shiva, looks so cool. Okay, let me actually talk about the chapter. Actually, before that, while I talk about Kagurabachi, I'll be playing chess on the background because I don't know how to edit, and even if I did, my PC sucks, so I can't even edit a video like bare minimum. So yeah, so we start off with the chapter with the introduction of this new character named Joji, and he's another character who looks like a DC freaking super villain. I don't know why Hogazono is dropping multiple of them. Right, first we got the bad guy, now this guy, and granted they look cool, so I'm not gonna complain. And Joji is talking to Hasumi about like freaking the skills that Subaru has. He mentions he's a sushi chef, he's a sword bearer, but the most freaking shocking of them all, he mentioned that he's a skilled swords man who's mastered the technique of sand and bone one blade style. Oh, that's a mouthful. When I first read that, I couldn't get it out. Right, and it's cool because we get an introduction of like a new technique. Right, we haven't really gotten a lot of those. We only have the DIY Fruity style and that other guys, and we also what happened to that other guys, right? So it's pretty cool. What I'm interested in is like, if will this play a part into the like main timeline of the show, like with Shiro and the gang, like one of them, ran the Sand and Bone style. I don't know, just cool. Also, this is, in my opinion, not freaking none of it. This is, I think, going off of memory, the only other ability that has bone in its name, right? So maybe this is connected to like Hiyuki in some way, It's just a theory throwing out. So yeah, we also get Subaru, and you can see like he's really passionate about like the whole idea of making sushi, right? And at least his craft, I would say, like in as a whole, right, calls it the art of nigiri, technically grasping. I don't get it, but like I guess yeah, and it's pretty cool, right? The reason why he's there is because he's kind of supposed to like tell the gang, not the gang, the freaking scientists, in like ways they could potentially help stabilize the Datensky. And one way to do that is like they theorize that maybe if there is a way they could like divert some of the spirit energy in the Datensky to like some other place, right? They could potentially stabilize its explosive tendencies, right? And why they called Subaru there is because he had a book, and the book kind of explains to them that these freaking materials that have a high efficiency or like high conductivity of spirit energy. The funny thing in particular is everything that's in that book literally just a lie. Broski just wrote it for shit and giggles. I don't know, which is funny to think about because like it makes you think how many people died because of like experimenting going off of the knowledge that was in that book. You know what I mean? Like people are just like, in this book it says rubber stabilizes cast energy. Why don't let's try that? And then they attaches rubber, boom, and the freaking entire base goes off like 10 dead. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's also funny when it's like I pulled it out of my ass. Just I don't know. I find Subaru funny because like he's serious but not at the same time, which is like cool. Right. After that, we get a cool moment with Subaru chucking a pen at this guy, and Joji looks sick, bro. I want to see more of him. I swear, if I am hoping he doesn't die in the war, even though we didn't see him in the main story, so sucks to suck. And yeah, Subaru then calls the guy up and is like, "Yo, check out my blade." But before that, the other guy is like, "This sword is made by Kazafune, right? It's one of his finest pieces." What I'm wondering is, is Kazafune gonna be like a character that will show up again? Maybe he's one of the three treasures of Japan, or maybe he's a teacher, the person who taught Kunishige. I hope he shows up later. That's literally this chapter's whole freaking thing. I hope this guy shows up later. Yeah, But Subaru then pulls out his blade, right? And he's like, check it out. I made it with blah, 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 right? And when he pulls it out, and the air shifts, like his sword's got presence, right? Like, again, I don't even think that, like, freaking enchanted blades were moving like this. Even though, like, they're enchanted blades, you know what I mean? Like, no one's unsheathed the enchanted blade. Everyone's, like, felt a spiritual pressure, kind of like, Bleach for them doing that. But, hey, right? So when he does that, one of the dudes in there feels as if one of their arm got cut off, right? And it's just insane, bro. They're glazing the heck out of Subaru, bro. Yeah, I mean, I guess you have to do that considering he's like pretty smart, right? And we have to know, okay, this dude's gotta be really good at what he makes, not like make or help in making an enchanted blade. So yeah, and we get an explanation on like why his words are really well. It's like a bunch of freaking words, bro. I don't know. I understand it completely, but I don't want to freaking spend 10 minutes explaining it. The gist of it is, when a swordsmith makes a blade, right? It forms imperfections in it, like holes, right? And those holes kind of serve as pathways for spirit energy to flow through, right? What Subaru does is it kind of refines the pathways and makes it so that like they are focused to the tip and the edge of the blade, right? So that when someone pours the spirit energy, so that there's no wastage of spirit energy, and so after that, freaking Shiba pops up and he almost gets killed. And I like how both Joji and Subaru reacted at the same time. That may be hinting at like they're the same skill level, or he then proceeds to introduce Chihiro to like the gang, and like I keep calling the scientist the gang. I don't know what's up with me, right? And it's like, yo, he made this sword. He's a good swordsman. Like, he's made a lot of swords. And Kunishiga there, it's like, it's just zapped out of his mind. Until he sees Subaru and it's like, hey, put it there. It's like Kunishiga just can be so goofy sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, freaking Shiba's like, yo, you want some food? Go on, go tell them what you found. It's like Shiba is treating Broski like he's a puppy or some shit. Like, come here, get this. It's like, bro, just. And freaking obviously, freaking Kunishiga is like a caveman. He does it, right? And then proceeds to, write down a bunch of. But what's interesting is, technically, the Tensky reacts to heat when it's 1,000 degrees, kind of like spirit energy. So if you keep it below that, you can kind of, I don't know, melt it or some shit, and then potentially forges it. And he was about to say, I think literally exactly what I just said, and before the entire group freaking cuts him off, right? And then we get this one sorcerer on scientist who's like, you can't do that. If you do that, you'll set a bunch of chain reaction. So you can't forge a blade. And Chiro's like, I can do it, bro. Trust, I can do it. It's cool. Again, he's like really confident in his skills as like as a swordsmith, which is cool. After that, they get sent to the cellar because you can't be saying you can make a enchanted blade. I forgot to mention that Subaru is the one who came with the term enchanted blade, earlier. And he was like, you said the thing, and it's just cool. And then you get Hasumi, and kind of realizing that Kunishige is actually him, and like he might be built like that. And then Subaru grabs Mashiro's blade, right? And here is where we figure out why Kunishige isn't really well known, even though he's made a lot of blades, right? Right? And it's because like brother's selective, because it kind of ties to like his older self, right? Like this is in chapter 1, right? We was talking to Chiro about like blades and whatnot, and also like this is not something that he learned from the world, something that he always has had, right? Like even at that age, he knew that he understood the weight behind making a blade and handing that over to someone, which is interesting. Yeah, and other than that, I think that's the chapter, right? Freaking finished everything, unless I've forgotten something. I'm going off of memory right now, and yeah, another peak chapter. I mean, what can I say? Actually, I forgot something. Yeah, I like how chapter ends with freaking Kunishige being like, "Where's my food, bro? Come on, you promised." It's funny. And then the freaking Shiba is kind of pouting. Yeah, I don't know. I like the whole dynamic. Like, that's it. If you liked the video and enjoyed it, comment maybe. I enjoy comments more than anything, right? So Yeah, and tell me what you thought about the chapter. And with that, you know, that's the video. I'll try to keep doing more of this, probably week by week. I'll try my best. I kind of suck at editing, and with myself phrasing that advanced, I guess, so it's hard, but I'll try my best. And with that, the video ends.